This is day 2 of uploading. Um, a lot of what I got going on is subjective. My last video, I was kind of angry, and it was like a lot of people are losers, and a lot of people have a lot of more benefits being whole and being human. I want to just talk about how it was not having a lot of therapy and why I've been able to upload continuously and the perks about therapy. I think as much as I've studied psychology, I've observed a lot of things and I've gained the experience a lot of things. It doesn't pay to not have somebody to talk to. Therapy was extremely scary the first time. I thought that therapy was going to be something that was going to make me feel inhuman, or something that was going to make me feel like I wasn't whole in a sense. But then I figured that if you are going through something mentally and rigorously demoralizing, these things will gradually distinct themselves as being what it is. It's harder to understand that a lot of people have a lot of troubles with interacting with people or understanding how to have these certain type of observations and experiences. And if you are a person that tends to look in things and gradually don't understand how to have these ones or twos, it's better off. Yeah, it's better off gaining these experiences, but it's also having a person to confide to when you feel isolated. Nothing about loving about yourself or self identity. There's nothing wrong with that. Isolation is a period full of a lot of BS. When I put myself through isolation and solitude, and I'm gonna tell a little bit about therapy and a lot of isolation and solitude, there was a lot of times where things weren't going the way it was supposed to go. A lot of the friends and family I had was really against the backbone of just letting me be who I gotta be. I think I am so used to people and how I feel about certain type of circumstances, which allow myself to deprive my mental health. A lot of the time where I feel like these things are here, there, or they're not interacting in a certain type of way that I like. Um, Solitude created a being that was meant to be put on YouTube. I read a book about intimacy and solitude, and if you haven't read it, I don't know who the author is. I'll probably go look at it and I might put it in the title. But it talks a lot about how we are and how we interact with a lot of these things in our lives. You gain a lot of clarity with yourself. And a lot of that stress and a lot of what we go through is nostalgic. It recreates this traumatic experience in solitude. And it took from a lot of, I think I had over 80 journals written up. And they've been all about just the times I spent in alleviating a lot of what I had. People that give up in solitude and isolation tend to be the ones that look for attention. A period where you don't have anybody in your life, you're kind of just in this limbo effect. Like things are moving in slow motion. The minute I got out of solitude, the last couple of months have went by like this. But when I was in solitude, I fell in love with the home that I had. Being broke, not having money, a lot of that caused me to not have interactions and stay to myself. And then when I came out of it, it was kind of hard for me to just be like, yes, no, or have a lot of what I had, because you can read up on a lot of things. And this is why people say, when you're doing these things and you're studying, do not study. Well, you can still study psychology, but if you're not having interactions with people, a lot of this stuff is going to sit in the back of your head for a long time. And then the moment that you get these interactions, they will flourish. They'll come and by, and then what you can do is that you can mend to the will of your own understandings of exactly knowing that, hey, I've read about these things. I just gotta tap back into what I've read and use it in my actual life. Because it's not like you're using a figment of your imagination. It's not like you're deluded on trying to understand these things and these adversaries and have a lot of things for what you love and what you don't. A lot of people are struggling just like you, and they're in a position where they love themselves. They feel like a lot of what they're passionate about, what they give and what they have, it lingers through the back of their mind. How you create intimacy and solitude is definitely something that is love and depiction of how you feel about yourself. I did a lot of shadow work. I read a lot of things. I did a lot of dojing. I understand my body in ways where I can't understand my body. It does feel like a superpower now that I can maintain the weight that I want. I can eat what I want and still stay in the same type of predicament where I'm at. By doing certain type of things, having certain type of qualities about myself, I see myself moving in a certain type of direction full of freedom. But you have to trust this period that is so drawn to the idea of it's not moving the way I want to. Patience is a virtue. I think I was just watching Profound's video, and he talks about a lot about doubt. And I read a book about doubt when it comes to my faith in Christianity. And a lot of that is built through intimacy and solitude. Falling in love with silence is catering. Falling in love with the idea of people and longing for their intentions and their expectations and their attention is falsehood. As much as you think you can be and have a lot of scrutiny in your life, and you can be a sorority, and you can be what you want and pedestalize a lot of the things in your life, it's going to come at a price. We are people at the end of the day, and we were never meant to have all of these experiences with attention-seeking adversaries. You can go on the internet today, post a picture, get a like, and that is the direct correlation of how you're going to think about yourself. Your ego is something that is destructive because it's telling you these things. You're super attractive. There's a lot of people that find you attractive. What are you going to do with that time and that effort of just, oh, I have all of these people that make me feel this way, and I got to do everything else? A lot of what you love and a lot of what you can consider yourself as is something special. It's like you could put a stud in your ear, and it dances in the sun. So as much as you walk out, you see your earrings and they're dancing, and a lot of people give you compliments on your earrings, and so you're like, oh, I picked a good set. It's the same thing with like your ego. It's the same thing about your presence. What you pick out and what you have for yourself will dance in the eyes of others. But as much as it dances, you might want to get bigger earrings. You might not accept the fact that you're shining in a certain type of way because, I mean, they may rust, but you still love your earrings. It's the same thing about patience. We become dull over time just because as much as we want to be at the height of our career, sometimes things are not meant to last forever. And that's the same thing with intimacy and solitude. Solitude and isolation with intimacy and the loving both of those things, it's not going to be your future. While you accept these negativities in your life, while you accept silence, the quieter those thoughts become. Overthinking can sometimes be a trap. It's what my therapist just told me. And a lot of our mind and a lot of traumatic induced experiences are built up through the means of being quiet. They hold themselves at a different type of weight. A lot of our life is being pedestalized into a blank canvas full of things, full of ideas. And that can only be built with yourself. You're not going to have all of these certain type of ideas. You're not going to have these character development stages. You're not going to be able to move on with your life if you don't gain a certain type of new identity for yourself. And that's the end of the video. And, I make quick 10-minute videos. I try to get it out. I hope y'all are enjoying these. Honestly, it's been amazing posting every day. I told myself I was going to post every day until I can't go no more. My best friend, used to be my best friend, he was like, I don't know how you're going to have a lot of topics to talk about. And I'm like, I can yap for days. And it was a gift blessed to me in the means of isolation. And I can come up with ideas based on myself and what I know and how I interact with people. And I can give it to y'all because, hey, you never know who needs it. I hope y'all are blessed and y'all have a beautiful day. Y'all are able to get something to eat, sleep, think about your life in a certain type of way, fall in love with the idea of stillness. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.